I used to think I was bad at saving money, but it turns out I was just bored, stressed, and trying to buy happiness by spending money. And once I figured that out, I started saving thousands of dollars without even trying. So in this video, I want to share with you 20 tiny habits that'll help you save money in a way that feels natural and easy. That way you can start building up a financial cushion without feeling like you're sacrificing anything. So tiny habit number 1 is to do one small thing every single day that makes you happy. One of the biggest causes of overspending is when you are shopping to look for dopamine hits. And hey, I don't blame you. Back in the day when I used to work on Wall Street, I would walk through Grand Central Station on my way home and just wander into all the glamorous looking shops along the way and walk out with $200 of clothing just like that. And this happened pretty much on a weekly basis because that was my one outlet to express my creativity and feel free and happy. As humans, we are wired to avoid pain and most of all seek pleasure. It's behind everything we do. So what if you just chose one thing, take 15 minutes a day to do something that lights you up, whether that is meditating, that is one science-backed way to get dopamine, maybe doing a dance break or sitting down with a really good fiction book or calling up a friend and having a good chit chat. These are all totally free and much more fulfilling ways to get your dopamine than trying to fill that void with online shopping. Tiny habit number 2 is journaling. I love journaling because it helps you stay connected to yourself. So in this day and age of information and stimulation overload, it's more important than ever to carve out a way to listen to your inner voice. The more clear and connected you are to yourself, the more intentional your spending is going to become. This next tiny habit is one of my favorites, and that is to milk your credit card rewards. Now, you have to be careful with this one because you don't want to get into credit card debt, but if you're good about your overall spending and you concentrate a lot of spending that you would do anyway onto a credit card that has rewards, you can live a pretty luxury lifestyle, traveling in business class, staying in nice hotels and airport lounges. I love the fact that I flew to Bali last year in business class and I was able to lay flat and have a good night's sleep and arrive in Bali completely refreshed and well rested. All of that paid with credit card rewards. That's $6,000 saved. So as you'll see throughout these tiny habits, it's really not about depriving yourself. It's about enjoying the good things in life, but doing it smartly. By the way, I have a link to my favorite credit card rewards recommendations in the description below. Next tiny habit is to connect more with your friends. Sounds counterintuitive because what does friends have to do with saving money? But something that we don't talk about enough in today's hyper individualistic society is how much social capital matters just as much as financial capital. A couple of months ago, I was considering buying a couple of plants and some pretty things for my apartment. But by talking to my good friend Bridget, who is actually moving out of her apartment, I realized that she had a bunch of plants and a standing desk and this really cute mirror that she was actually gonna throw away. But because I was hanging out with her and knew what was going on in her life, I was able to take that off her hands, which helped her and also got me a really cute mirror and some plants that probably would have cost me at least $1,000. Or hey, if you have a good friend you can call up to pick you up at the airport, that's $100 in an Uber that you didn't have to spend. My next tiny habit is to do less and keep a more open, spacious schedule. So this constant cycle of doing so much actually keeps us trapped in a cycle of overspending. So recent example, I was trying to do all the things. I was working on my book. I was trying to make new friends in LA and be a good girlfriend. And I had a couple of other commitments that I had said yes to. And because of all that stress, I started losing some hair and that stressed me out. So then I went out and bought serums, pills, and all these things to help with my hair loss. I ordered so much takeout because I was stressed and didn't have time to make food. So sometimes it's really just about doing less to save money, not doing more. Another tiny habit is to invest more in your health and wellness than you do in beauty products. Beauty products like makeup, skincare, I love all those things just as much as the next person, but those are more temporary. When you invest in your health, for example, in a yoga class or a massage or an acupuncture appointment, that's a one-time thing that has long-term effects and will do more for your beauty than one expensive bottle of foundation or face wash or serum. I found that when I'm drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, getting enough exercise, sunshine, all the good things, I really don't have to do much to keep myself looking good. A little bit of brush my hair, a little bit of makeup and moisturizer, and I'm good to go. Because when you're healthy, you're beautiful naturally. Another tiny habit that I love is renting clothing for variety. Because if you really want to save big money, you have to learn how to do it in a way that's fun and not depriving yourself. So using services like Rent the Runway or Nuuly or Vivrel allows you to get new stuff in your closet every single month just for a monthly subscription. So you keep getting dopamine hits every month because of the variety and you don't feel like you're wearing the same outfits all the time. Another tiny habit is to start doing a monthly money date. This is a monthly 1 or 2 hour time block in your calendar every single month where you sit down, you go through all of your spending, you plan out your budget for next next month. In other words, looking at what money is coming in and giving every single one of those dollars a job. There is nothing that is going to make a bigger difference for your finances than learning how to tell your money what you want it to do. Not what Amazon wants it to do, not what your friend Sally wants you to do with it on the weekend, but what you want it to do. So if you need some help doing your monthly money dates, I want you to download my Millionaire Money Toolkit. This is a free resource that I created. It's got a budgeting template to help you go through all of your spending and see where your money is currently going and also where you would like it to go instead, what adjustments you'd like to make. It also comes with a free net worth tracker as well as a debt payoff tracker, a quick cheat sheet on what accounts to open to keep your money in, and so much more. So grab that below. It's completely free. Bottom line, make this monthly money date a habit and make it fun. Make it like a real date with yourself and your money, with candles and wine and your favorite snacks and whatever you need to do to make it something you look forward to instead of dreading. Do a lot of shopping online without actually ever checking out. This is something I do a lot. My toxic habit is browsing through Temu because they suggest so many cool, pretty things to me, and I'll fill up my shopping cart but not actually buy anything. And I'll find that after about an hour of doing that, I had so much fun and I didn't actually really need to buy the things that I'm seeing. For the most part, I find that I get the same dopamine hit just by putting it in my shopping cart and not actually receiving it compared to actually buying the real thing. For any big purchases, whether that's over $500 or $1,000, look at secondhand marketplaces like Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp first. When I first moved to my gorgeous LA beachside apartment, I needed to furnish a lot and I wanted it to be cute, but I also did not want to spend $10,000 on brand new furniture. So my entire place I furnished for under $3,000. For example, this really awesome West Elm sofa that I wanted was $2,500. I got it for $1,000 on OfferUp. These pink chairs, gold bar stools from Crate and Barrel, all of these chairs would have cost me well over $200 each, but instead I got them for $30 each. Now, I don't want you to do this for every single item because your time is worth money too, and sometimes it makes more sense to get something new shipped to you rather than having to go out and drive to the seller and bring back the thing yourself. But if the savings are significant enough, it is worth your time because secondhand items are often 50 to 90% cheaper than buying brand new. It also has less impact on the environment. Another great habit is to hack your own behavior by creating friction in your purchases. What do I mean by creating friction? Just add one little layer between you and actually checking out with your credit card. For example, delete any saved credit card information from your phone, your browser, maybe even delete the actual shopping app from your phone so that before you buy anything, you have to enter in your credit card information again. Amazon might be a good app to delete. Maybe I need to take my own advice, but I find that when you just need to take that one extra minute to do that step, you might even change your mind and decide that you don't need to buy that thing at all. Before you buy anything, try to follow a policy of one in, one out. If you're gonna buy a new pair of jeans, one old pair of jeans has to go, otherwise you don't need another pair of jeans. I'm sure you've noticed that the more stuff you accumulate, the more work you have, the more things you have to take to the dry cleaners, the more things you have to get repaired, the more things you have to call the warranty service. And then if you ever have to move, the more things you have to pack up, and so on and so forth. So I find that following this philosophy of one in, one out also just keeps my life less cluttered. My mental health is happiness, and I end up saving so much money as a result. Another tiny habit that I love is learning basic DIY for things that you do really often. For example, for the last few years, I was spending so much money, not to mention time, going to the nail salon, getting all these acrylics and things, and then also having to go back there when they outgrew because it looked bad, and then having to do it. And so it was this constant treadmill of spending $100, $150 every 3 weeks just to keep that up. Initially, I started going to the nail salon to save time, but I found that actually going there and sitting there in the chair was actually very time consuming. So now I've started doing my own nails and actually going more for a natural nail look, and it costs nothing, just this nude bottle of nail polish. And now I am saving over $1,500 a year. Learn meal prep. With the cost of food and eating out these days, I don't even know how anyone eats out more often than once a week anymore. Even just one simple like dinner and drinks is now $100 a person. Learn to make a couple meals during the week on your own. And start with learning just one go-to easy recipe. And once you get into a rhythm with that one recipe and you're saving a couple $100s a month from that, the next month add on another go-to recipe. So month after month, just add on one go-to recipe that you really get good at. And over time, you're gonna save so much money on eating out. By now, I've got like 10 go-to recipes that I can make probably with my eyes closed because I've made them so much, and they have saved me so much money on having to order takeout. 15, put staples on subscription. Anything that you buy on a regular basis, like toothpaste, paper towels, laundry detergent, supplement, or even pantry staples like rice, pasta, vitamins, protein powders, the more you can put those on subscription and just automate your life, the less you have to go into these apps, and I'm specifically referring to Amazon, the less you get exposed to their algorithms that know how to promote things to you and get you to buy more things. Another tiny habit you can start doing right now is when you are shopping for food, try to look at the price per ounce. Because if you're comparing two places to buy salmon or ground beef, for example, even though the sticker price at one place looks cheaper, the price per ounce may be double or triple the cost. Next, negotiate. Always ask for a better price. Never accept what a seller throws out as the first price. Whenever you're negotiating for something like buying a car or even signing up for internet service, whatever price they quote you, start seeing that as a starting point for the discussion. You never have to accept that at face value. A lot of my clients and subscribers have saved hundreds, thousands of dollars by negotiating. It's really about having that mindset of being confident enough to advocate for yourself. You do not have to accept the first price or offer someone throws your way. A lot of times we're taught to just sit quiet and not make waves and just say yes, but you are allowed to advocate for yourself, and you don't have to do it in a way that comes off as aggressive. Another tiny habit is to get a hobby instead of spending time scrolling on social media. Usually scrolling through social media is because we're bored, we're looking for something fun to do, and what that ends up doing is exposing us to all these influencers who are living these impossibly aspirational lifestyles where they're eating pretty food and sitting in pretty cafes and always have perfect nails, sipping the most perfect matcha latte. They're always looking amazing and traveling to places like Paris and Bali, and all this does is make us feel bad about our lives in comparison to how they're living, and that triggers a whole cycle of unintentional spending. A couple of months ago, I took up a hobby that I had abandoned a long time ago. I started dancing again, going to dance classes every week, and I'm having so much fun with that hobby that I barely have time to scroll on social media and start comparing myself to people. And that in and of itself has saved me so much money already. And finally, if you're someone who spends a lot of money on books, you can replace those purchases with a library card. I thought going to the library was a thing of the past, but it turns out even as an adult, you can still go to the public library, get a library card, and get a lot of newly released books for completely free. Libraries even have an audiobook app where you can borrow audiobooks for free with your library card. So as you can see, all of these 20 tiny habits are about easy, effortless ways to save money. And at the core, it's all about finding a way to get in more alignment with who you are, being more happy with yourself, loving yourself more, because bottom line is you are not gonna hate your way to better finances. You have to love your way to better finances. So that's it for this video. I would love to hear which of these tiny habits you are excited to implement right away to start saving serious money. Let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to download my Millionaire Money Toolkit for my free budgeting templates, net worth trackers, negotiation scripts, and a guide for how to do your monthly money date. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.